Rather unusually for one of these tube walks, I've just flown into London City Airport, so there it is in the background, rather than arriving by DLR or something very boring. Incidentally, I've been flying for 40 years now, and I've just flown in today, and apart from when I used to go parachuting and jump out of a Cessna, in those 40 years every single seatbelt has worked exactly the same way. I just wonder why they tell you every time how to use your seatbelt. You don't go up to your child and say, here's how to use a knife and fork, and every time they go for a meal you say, well, here's how to use a knife and fork. So today we're going to take a short walk along the DLR. We're going to Pontoon dock, and actually on the plane they said, I hope you have a happy and a safe onward journey. I assume very few people have said I've gone to Pontoon dock as their onward journey. I'm just waiting for this rain to stop, and then we'll get going. But it took ages to figure out how to leave the airport, because there's all fencing all around. But this is the way, down this little path, which luckily keeps us dry. So that's a wonderful sight. That's the remaining industry of London. London's just turned into a service economy, but it's wonderful to see Tate & Lyle still going strong and making golden syrup. So our main task right now is to find a road called Savile Road, which is in this area. And Tate & Lyle is still up there. That's a great view. I just really miss London industry. I remember my dad taking me along Carpenter's Road in Stratford when I was like a small person anyway. And the smells you get just going down that road were amazing. But there's really nothing left. There's no falls of Dagenham or anything. So this is Newland Street. No, I think, despite how sweet that is, we need to go this way. So here's the back way into the DLR station. So this is Savile Road. I'm just going to use a trick here with Google Street View. I'm going to reverse the direction we were walking in and line up a famous photo. This photo is now called the Call the Midwife photo because it was used in the title sequence of the TV series of the same name, but it really just shows how this area has changed. City Airport directly replaced the northern end of Savile Road. It replaced Drew Road School here on the right, but land use here completely transformed from warehouses and wharves to the modern development we see now. It's time to resume the walk. Well, it can't be denied, this is a very unusual area. We've still got the Technol factory, we've got London City Airport and the DLR. That's the DLR station way over there. And you're in the sort of edge area where things are not quite, they don't feel coordinated. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. They don't feel coordinated in that you've got so much new stuff, so much old stuff. I think that's the way East London is. And there's the Elizabeth line, now going past the end of the street. The Elizabeth line is proving a bit of a barrier, so I'm going to use this footbridge upcoming, which I think should get us to the other side of it. I now know what I was trying to hint at earlier and I couldn't put into words. This area is just full of barriers. Like, you couldn't get over the Elizabeth line tracks. Can't get through London City Airport easily and into the surrounding hinterland. And you have to sort of say thank God for footbridges, which solve problems. So that's a great church. And this was a road I was trying to get to, but was finding it impossible to navigate to it. A road called Factory Road, which cuts off a huge corner if you're going to walk to Pontoon Dock. I'm not really obsessed with the manufacture of sugar. It's such a notable landmark. I'm relying on Google Maps at the moment, which isn't very good at showing exactly where I'm supposed to be going, so I'm winging it a bit. So I got all the wind noise. It's that kind of inclement weather day. So this footpath, I guess if I zoomed in satellite view or something I could see it, but it's heading in the direction I want to head in without maybe being actually marked. But I think this is still Factory Road and unexpectedly verdant. Through an area of London which looks exactly like Philadelphia or Dubai or Moscow or anywhere else in the world where they're building exactly the same buildings as these. And as I navigate this area, can you imagine people 100 years ago coming against the concept of a gated community, of which boardwalk approach is one? It's completely alien to the old East End. Still, nevertheless, onwards and upwards. at a place called the Thames Barrier Park, which is on the northern side of the famous Thames Barrier. My partner and I did a walk along the length of the River Thames from Cirencester, and the Thames Barrier on the southern side was the end of our trip. So can't say I've ever seen it from North Woolwich. Can peek through the walkway to a container ship. And then there's a barrier. We're going to walk the width of this park, and then when we arrive at buildings on the other side, I'll take a quick northward hike. It's terrible when you lose nouns. I was trying to think of what do I put in quick northward what? Turn? I know there's a word there I needed to use. I'm going to change my mind and walk diagonally across this park. You see some new builds in the foreground and one very old build. Don't know what that is, but I assume it's on the northern side of the dock where City Airport is. Just interjecting here with a view to the south, and now the west, and now the north. But I wonder what this sunken area is. I wonder if it's an old dock, because there's actually a footbridge going over the top here, and it's since there's an embankment beyond, so it doesn't go straight to the river at this point. It's quite a mystery. It may remain unsolved as a mystery. I've just had a sudden desire to cross the footbridge, and I'm now pondering if this is actually Pontoon Dock. The sunken area of greenery, I mean. Just a theory, because I will obviously have to edit this, and I'll know more facts than I do now. But if this greenery is Pontoon Dock, then Pontoon Dock Station is that grey thing above the tracks, which we are walking towards. It would make a lot of sense. DLR stations aren't very far from each other. This is Pontoon Dock, and I see there's a poster saying the People's Plan for the Royal Docks down beneath. And in a very John Rogers sort of a way, I'm going to have to go down and read that to see what it's all about and if I should be paying attention. Don't wish to place drop, but that really looks like the Dubai Metro. Apart from it's all enclosed in Dubai. Whoa, hang on. Apart from Dubai's not in the full glare of the sunshine, so it's all enclosed in glass and air conditioned. It's very similar. Anyhow, we've reached Pontoon Dock Station.